You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we'll have how you can know or how you can tell if your door-to-door solicitors are legitimate or not.
And a grand jury hands down a federal indictment regarding a May traffic stop.
And we've got another alert day today and tomorrow. We've got heat advisories, excessive heat warnings. We'll talk about that in your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It's 7 o'clock now on this Thursday morning. So we are almost to the end of the week. We have a lot of heat out there, though, some dangerous heat. We're going to talk about that here in just a few more minutes. But we also have some useful advice and information for folks when it comes to door-to-door solicitors.
That's right. Some people that are going to be out in the heat.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, not a good time to be out there. But
Well, 2 young solicitors recently asked the Joplin Police Department to share their picture on social media so residents can know they are legit. And while some are trustworthy, others may not be.
But there's a specific way for you to know if a solicitor is properly permitted. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the details.
While solicitors knocking door to door might not be very popular with everybody,
I haven't had none here lately. I go with
many Joplin residents take time to talk to them and might even buy their items.
I just open the door and look at them and ask them what they want. They can either tell me what they're there for or leave the porch.
In Joplin, to be able to go door to door selling items, solicitor needs to have a specific permit from the city. To obtain the document, they go through a background check. But not everybody needs that license.
The farmers or people selling vegetables out of the back of their vehicle, those do not. Religious or charitable organizations do not. You do have to be at least 17 years old in order to be able to solicit the city of Joplin as well.
Hayden Derry chose to put a no trespassing sign in his house. Even though he was not targeting solicitors, it also works for them.
Less soliciting and more or less just trying to keep people out of the yard. We've had some issues in the past where some people have taken a few things, so we thought maybe that would deter somebody.
Solicitors should be paying attention. If you have like a no solicitors sign posted or a no trespassing sign posted, solicitors should be obeying those. If they don't, they could be subject to trespassing charge of.
Because of his sign or because there are not a lot of solicitors in his neighborhood, Hayden feels like he's not exposed to them.
I don't really have an opinion on something I haven't experienced, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine as long as, they're respectful.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Well, the Joplin Police Department also says if a citizen or a law enforcement officer requests the credentials, the solicitor needs to show them.
I had some important information, something that I didn't know, because we do get those solicitors. Now, in our neighborhood, it's usually people trying to sell us solar panels or a security system, but still, it's important to be safe because things have changed since, we were a little bit younger, and people are a little bit more wary of those door-to-door solicitors than they used to be.
Well, and like you said, you can ask for that permit, but remember, if they're a nonprofit or a religious organization, they don't have to have one.
Right, so if the Girl Scouts come to your door selling, some cookies, they're not going to have a permit, but I think you can typically trust them.
I hope so.
I would hope so.
Well, I know I can trust those cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's not going to be a good couple of days for doing any door-to-door soliciting. We have heat advisories for portions of southeast Kansas through 9 o'clock tonight, and then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties in southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. These run until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then excessive heat warnings for our friends in northeast Oklahoma. And what that means is down here, they're anticipating heat index values upwards of 110 to 115 degrees out there. Quick look, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line. We've got the sun out there. It's really going to heat things up. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. So we are about here in our heat index values today between that 100 to 115 degree range. So heat exhaustion is likely out there and heat stroke is possible. So do make sure you're taking appropriate precautions outdoors. We're already back up to 81 in Joplin. Heat index is 84. Dew points up there at 70. Humidity 69%. And it is warm and muggy across the region. We got 70-68 Center, 75 in Iola, 79 Pittsburgh, Chetopa, Miami, 78 Parsons, Chanute, and 79 Neosho, 80 now in Carthage. And as we get our morning started, temperatures continue to climb. May have a few clouds out there, but otherwise sunny skies, low 90s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, we're talking dangerous heat here, folks. That's why we have the alert days out. We're up to about 104 degrees for our high. Some of us could even be hotter than that, and will be partly cloudy. And then this evening, there's no relief from the heat. If you have outdoor activities this evening, you need to be taking the same precautions as if you were doing them in the afternoon. Because look at this, 102 at 6, 97 by 8, and 87 still at 10 o'clock, and heat index values up there as well. Overnight low tonight around 80 degrees. Well, I'm done. Check your forecast and take a look at the 4th of July holiday here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A man accused of child sex crimes is found guilty on all charges after a 3-day trial ends yesterday. 2018, a 4-year-old victim disclosed that she had been sexually abused at a house near Granby in July of that year. Her caretaker noticed bruising around her arms consistent with the abuse the victim recalled. The key witness in the trial was the victim herself. And the jury deliberated less than 2 hours and found 31-year-old Jonathan Lee Cavett guilty of statutory rape and 2 charges of statutory sodomy. An Aurora, Missouri woman charged in a crash that killed 4 people on motorcycles will stay in jail, at least for now. A judge has ruled 53-year-old Teresa Minetsky will remain jailed without bond. The judge denied her attorney's request that Minetsky be released on her own reconnaissance while she seeks continuing medical care. Authorities say Minetsky was driving while intoxicated on June 3rd when she crossed the center line and crashed into a group of people on motorcycles on Highway 39 north of Aurora. 4 people on the bikes were killed. 6 others were injured. Minetsky was also seriously injured. You can read more about this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. On Wednesday, Fort Scott, Kansas, fire crews battled intense flames. Crews responded to this house fire at Wall and Barbie, and when they arrived, they say they found half the home engulfed in flames, as you can see in this photo. The firefighters were unable to go inside. Fortunately, the resident had already gotten out before firefighters arrived, and no one was hurt. Fire crews say the home is a total loss. They are investigating the cause of the fire. A grand jury hands down a federal indictment following a May traffic stop in Jasper County where a state trooper found 80 pounds of methamphetamine. On May 28th, the Missouri Highway Patrol trooper stopped 26-year-old Devion Boykin near the Sarcoxy exit on I-44. The Pennsylvania man was driving a vehicle that had been rented to another person, and he did not have a driver's license. The officer found 80 one-pound bags of meth in a shopping bag and a suitcase in the SUV. He also found a loaded gun. Authorities say Boykin was recorded on the dash cam discussing the meth on the phone while he was inside the police car. You can learn more about that and the case on our KOAM News Now app. The Better Business Bureau is raising awareness of scammers targeting people with Alzheimer's disease. Experts say there are some things older adults and their loved ones can do to stay safe. Now, one, if something feels off, tell someone you trust. Also, never share sensitive information over the phone or online. And if you're caring for someone with Alzheimer's, watch out for warning signs that they may be being targeted.
It starts with having a conversation. If you have older adults in your life, just talk about common signs and red flags of scams. Talk about not giving away personal information on the phone. Don't give out your Social Security number or your Medicare ID to someone you can't verify on the phone.
June is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Up next, are your migraines suddenly getting worse? We'll have why that is.
And later, a spacecraft is on its way back home with an asteroid that could have the clues to the origin of life. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's a live look from the Cornell Complex located on 7th Street in downtown Joplin. We'll be right back.
In Health Watch this morning, your migraines might get worse in the summer. A headache specialist with Cleveland Clinic says as the seasons change, so does the air pressure in the atmosphere. And they say in extreme weather conditions, such as a storm, a person's sinuses might be affected, causing a migraine. I know I notice it. When it comes to treatment options, the headache specialist recommends medication, therapy, or dietary and other lifestyle changes. Well, the average age of a first-time mother reached a record high of 27 years in 2021. That's the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The numbers show many women are waiting to have children, but advanced maternal age can come with some risk. Mandy Gaither has more with a doctor on the safety of getting pregnant later in life.
It's a boy. 44-year-old reality star Kourtney Kardashian and her musician husband recently announced the gender of their first child together.
We really are at a place where, where age is to some degree just a number.
Dr. Cole Greaves is a maternal fetal medicine physician with Orlando Health. He says pregnancy later in life is becoming more common, but advanced age brings increased maternal risks, including miscarriage, preeclampsia, preterm labor, gestational diabetes and hypertension, increased chance of C-section, and blood loss risk. But Greaves says whether it's safe to have a baby at an older age greatly depends on the overall health of the woman.
If she's fairly healthy prior to pregnancy without a lot of medical comorbidities, sometimes these moms who are active and healthy, eat right, exercise regularly, can actually do better in pregnancy than some of our younger moms who have significant medical comorbidities.
There are also increased fetal risks to consider. Dr. Greaves says anyone thinking of becoming pregnant who would be 35 years or older at the time of delivery should seek prenatal care and consider preconception counseling, especially if there are existing medical conditions like diabetes or hypertension.
These are all conditions that really need to be optimized prior to conception to make sure that we set that patient up for the best possible pregnancy in her later years.
The doctor says when it comes to the increased risk to the fetus, technology has come a long way in being able to detect chromosomal abnormalities or genetic conditions. And that information can help create a healthcare plan. For instance, if a medical problem is known, a number of doctors and other healthcare professionals who are experts in different specialities can be on hand during delivery.
Well, we've got ourselves those alert days today. We have excessive heat on the way, excessive heat warnings for northeast Oklahoma, heat advisories for a good portion of us as temperatures rise and heat index values rise. We'll have another look at that forecast when we come back. And a Fargo, North Dakota boy finds his passion in working hard and starts his own lawn care business. We'll have more on that. But first, here's a live look from the Cornell Complex at 7th Street in downtown Joplin. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:17 now on this Thursday morning. We have alert days for excessive heat today and tomorrow. We've got heat advisories for portions of southeast Kansas through 9 o'clock tonight, and then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties in Kansas and all of southwest Missouri. These run until 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then we have excessive heat warnings until 9 tonight for our friends in northeast Oklahoma, and that is because they're expecting heat index values 110 to 115. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line, getting plentiful sunshine out there, and that's allowing us to heat up pretty quickly. And same in Pittsburgh from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. So with our heat index values, we are right in this range where heat exhaustion is likely and heat stroke is possible. So if you are outdoors, you've got to make sure you're staying hydrated and taking appropriate precautions out there. Right now, a few clouds out there, otherwise not bad. Hot though, 81 in Joplin, feels like 84, dew point 70, humidity up there at 69%. Temperatures warming across the region as we've got that southerly breeze. We had 75 Iola, 78 Chanute, Parsons, 79 Chatopa, Miami, Neosho, 80 in Carthage, and 78 in Lamar. As we get our morning started, we'll have mostly clear skies. Again, a few passing clouds up to the low 90s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, that's where we get those heat index values, 105, and again for some of us up to 115. Temperatures today right around 104, and we've got those partly cloudy skies, and there is no relief from the heat even into the evening hours. We're 102 at 6, 97 at 8, 87 by 10. Overnight lows warm, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Alert day continues tomorrow. Highs near 100. Highs could push near 100 again on Saturday. And then we've got the possibility of some thunderstorms Saturday evening into Sunday morning. That cools us down a bit, at least into the lower 90s. And could see a couple of pop-up storms Tuesday, but shouldn't interfere with your fireworks plans. But if you're doing anything in the afternoon, you might want to be prepared for a stray shower or storm, and low 90s. Well, a spacecraft built in Colorado is on its way home after collecting a piece of an asteroid. Scientists say that sample could hold evidence to the origin of life on Earth. Crew at Lockheed Martin in Littleton is preparing for its arrival. Meteorologist Corey Repenhagen reports.
NASA calls it a cosmic touch and go.
When we made contact with the surface, there was a 1-second delay, and then we fired that high pressure nitrogen gas, and the surface just exploded.
In October of 2020, the Lockheed Martin built spacecraft called OSIRIS-REx made a brief touchdown on an asteroid known as Bennu. Its job was to collect a soil sample and bring it back to Earth.
That's right. So asteroid Bennu is a time capsule that's over 4.5 billion years old. The minerals and chemicals that make up this object formed before the Earth even existed as a planet.
Dante Loretta, the project's principal investigator, says the secrets to the solar system and life as we know it on Earth may be locked inside an 8-ounce sample of ancient dust and pebbles. Its nearly 3-year journey back to Earth is almost complete. OSIRIS-REx is scheduled to parachute down to the Utah desert this September. At the Lockheed Martin campus in Littleton on Wednesday, a full dress rehearsal.
The hallmark of our success is that we rehearse, rehearse, and rehearse. So we never go into a flight critical operation unprepared.
The sample recovery team will set up a makeshift clean room like this one on site in the desert when OSIRIS-REx makes it back to Earth. They must be extremely careful not to contaminate the sample as they prepare it for a trip to Houston to be analyzed at the Johnson Space Center.
Yeah, when we proposed this mission to NASA, we said we would gain unprecedented knowledge about the origin of life on Earth, and I intend to do my best to deliver on that promise.
And the sample from Bennu will be collected after OSIRIS-REx lands in Utah on September the 24th. Bennu passes close to Earth about every 6 years. Scientists say between the years 2175 and 2199, there is a small chance that Bennu could impact the Earth. Well, KOAM hosted its second Great American Flag Swap in partnership with Arvest Bank. If you stick with us, we're going to have where you can attend the next one. We'll be back. Well, a young entrepreneur in Fargo, North Dakota is hoping he will inspire other kids to do what he's done, find passion in hard work.
Alex Larson has his story.
And then after we're done with along here, we're gonna move down there.
12-year-old Alex sees a lot of green, and not just in the lawns he cares for.
Most definitely, I call myself a businessman.
Alex started Alex's Mowing Company.
And I decided that I just wanted to do it, and I did it.
And the grass is always greener when you can work with your best friends, who double as employees.
Just said, do you want to join my mowing company? I said, yeah, sure.
Garion knows money doesn't grow on trees or in the weeds they pick.
Yes, I'll get that later.
But he has an idea of what he wants to spend his hard-earned cash on.
I don't remember the type of car anymore. It's a type of Mustang, you could say that.
Thank you.
Yep.
The busy schedule has not gotten in the way of their friendship. Has he been a tough boss?
No.
I'd say I've been a pretty good boss.
The challenging part,
finding customers to do this for.
But Alex was ready to find a solution.
So I just thought I'd make a whole bunch of flyers and pass them out. So that's what I did.
And a little help from some special friends, his parents.
They helped me start my own business page, and like that, they made a few posts for me, but bam, I had a first customer. So it works like that.
Facebook, that's where Alex says he heard
a whole bunch of comments of people saying kids don't work hard these days.
But he says that's not the case here.
Does that make you feel pretty good to hear that you're working hard and proving those people wrong? And I'm like, oh yeah, it is. It does make me feel really good.
And he's hoping other kids join in on his mission.
There is kids that do work and that do the things that people don't expect them to do.
As for the future of Alex's Mowing Company,
just getting more expansion.
Well, Alex's birthday is in a few days. He's going to be turning 13.
No word on if he plans to celebrate by taking a break from his day job. I love it when kids learn the value of a dollar.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm going to share a very sad story, but when I was younger, I converted my parents' garage into a little retail store. We had computerized cash registers, we had customer service desk, layaway, and then the garage was divided into the different departments: automotive, toys, clothes.
Did you sell your parents things?
Yeah, they had a bunch of crap.
Kind of like a garage sale type thing.
Yeah, kind of like a garage sale, but we were
that's
open
cute.
all the time during the summer. So did pretty good. We got to go out and eat every so often. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Well, coming up, we take you to the Crawford County Museum, where every Wednesday is Wacky Wednesday, and this week featured the famous Will Rogers.
And we've got an alert day today and tomorrow for that dangerous heat out there. We'll have another look at that forecast when we come back.
Sonic.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. One of the country's biggest old car rallies, the Great Race, stopped in Joplin on Wednesday. 127 cars are taking part. The Great Race is a 9-day, 2,300-mile journey from St. Augustine, Florida to Colorado Springs. Wednesday marked day number 5. And officials say it tests the endurance of cars and teams who come from all over the globe. Today, the teams will go through Emporia, Kansas, before spending the night in Wichita. KOAM's Great American Flag Swap continued on Wednesday. It lets 4 staters trade in their old tattered American flags for new ones. It was at 2023 East 32nd Street in Joplin at Arvest Bank. American Legion helped us in retiring those old traded in flags. This was the second flag swap we held. Within the first hour, all 100 of yesterday's flags were traded out. And it's more than just trading out flags, but also supporting our local veterans.
Is what we call it. It's an associate impact group where we take time and we devote resources to finding out how Arvest can support veterans in our own community. And so, when you asked about Flag Swap, I'm like, that's helping veterans. That's showing support for the veterans that have served. So what better way that we could show support?
Our next flag swap is September 1st in Miami at Wesco. And you can find information about that one and others, as well as flag etiquette, on our website, koamnewsnow.com/flag. Pittsburgh Knights of Columbus honors area organizations. It's part of its grant announcement celebration. The event looks to honor the recipients of the annual grants given by the Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas. And grants were given to 9 organizations.
We've got alert days today and tomorrow for that dangerous heat across the area. We do have heat advisories for parts of southeast Kansas through 9 o'clock tonight, and then Bourbon, Crawford, and Cherokee counties in southeast Kansas, and then southwest Missouri. These run until 7 tomorrow evening. And then down in northeast Oklahoma, this pink, this is an excessive heat warning where heat index values down there could go as high as 115. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. It's already pretty darn hot out there, and it's only going to get hotter. Let's skip right to what we're expecting today, as we're looking at highs right around 104 degrees. Some of us could be hotter than that. Partly cloudy skies, heat index values high, and then the evening, high heat index values and no relief from this heat. Still near 90 by 10 o'clock. Overnight lows right around 80 degrees. Tanya?
On Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Public Library hosted its outdoor story time. The event gives kids the opportunity to watch their favorite books in puppet form. They also participate in arts and crafts and sing along to music. Now, story time is intended for preschool to 6 years old. However, all ages can listen and enjoy. Although turnout, they say, wasn't as great as usual, kids still had a blast.
Actually, today was smaller than usual because the buses from the schools didn't come. But today, for a small turnout, was over 100 people, and we've had well over 250 people at story times this summer for each story time.
The next story time will take place Monday, July 3rd at the Pittsburgh Library. Well, at the Crawford County Historical Museum, nearly every Wednesday is Wacky Wednesday. Yesterday's Wacky Wednesday had a special guest. Kids got to meet an actor playing Oklahoma's world-famous Will Rogers. Rogers starred in 71 movies and made more than $2 million per movie in the 1930s. Wacky Wednesday also has various activities for kids.
My favorite part about Wacky Wednesday is helping everybody.
You like to help everyone? What do you help them with?
I help people when they get hurt. That doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes
Yeah.
You can register your child for Wacky Wednesday by visiting the Crawford County Historical Museum website. And on Wednesday, Webb City Educational Center honored local educators. The Southwest Center for Educational Excellence hosted its Regional Teacher of the Year celebration. 17 teachers were nominated and 2 were chosen as winners. Those winners are Amanda Royster from Carl Junction and Nikki Deaton from Sarcoxy.
Honestly, I can't believe it. I'm very excited, and I just want to thank my school district, my students, and then most importantly, my mother, who's been in education for 30 years and whose legacy that I'm trying to carry on.
The 2 winners will go on to represent the Southwest Missouri region in the statewide competition for Missouri Teacher of the Year. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, we're going to learn all about an upcoming kite festival happening in the city of Pittsburgh, and it's all for a good cause.
And as we've mentioned, we've got those alert days today and tomorrow for that dangerous heat out there. We'll have another look at your forecast and how the 4th of July is shaping up. But first, we got a live look from the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back. We've got 2 special guests this morning in studio with us from Pittsburgh Parks and Rec, Toby Book and Brachi Patel, joining us here to tell us all about a big event coming up this weekend. I'm super excited about it. My kids are excited. A kite festival.
We're hoping to have a really good turnout. This is our first try at it. Al Patel, a local businessman, and Brachi and the Patel family came to us with this idea, and we're happy to support them with this.
Now, Brachi, tell me, why did you guys think of doing a kite festival as an activity?
My son, he grew up here, so he never knew how to fly it, and now he can do it. So we decided, why not everybody's kids too? So we decided to arrange it, and we want everybody to come and join on this one.
So you have a great location where there's a lot of open air space out by Pittsburgh High School.
Pittsburgh High School, be Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Food trucks will be there, music, taking donations for the Pittsburgh Police Department Family Response Team. So it's got a good cause with it. It just partnered up nicely with the Parks and Recreation and the City of Pittsburgh.
Now, do you need to bring anything to participate, or will kites be supplied? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna provide kites and the threads which they needed. Probably they need to bring their chair and heat gears, probably caps or water. Probably water also gonna provide it.
Yes, stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. There will be some refreshments out there. We also recommend maybe a pair of gloves for the kite string for the kids that are flying the kites. So just to keep the string burn from happening too.
I have a lot of memories as a child flying kites, and honestly, I don't know if I've taken mine out too often to fly kites, but I know they have, and it's just a fun experience and something that you guys are helping to provide for everyone in the community.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's a good time. It's a big lead-in for us to 4th of July also. It's a busy time with the Kite Festival, and then we roll right into Lincoln Park 4th of July event. So we're busy, but we like this. We'd rather be busy than not.
About how many kites are you preparing for this weekend?
It's more than 1,000.
Over 1,000 kites?
Yeah.
Wow.
We already got them.
That's awesome. Yes. Well, okay, so there's plenty of kites. So all you have to do is come out to Pittsburgh High School. Fun for all ages.
Yeah, fun for all ages.
And it's going to start at 10 o'clock and run till 4 on Saturday. All right, thank you two for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to have us here.
We'll be right back.
All this summer.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We've got those heat advisories for southeast Kansas until 9 tonight, and then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and then southwest Missouri. These continue through 7 tomorrow evening, and then until 9 tonight, excessive heat warnings in northeast Oklahoma. We're talking heat index values upwards of 110 to 115. But it puts us here for all of us, as we've got those heat index values 105 to 115. Heat exhaustion is likely, heat stroke is possible, so do make sure you're taking the appropriate precautions out there. We're at 81 in Joplin. We do have a gusty breeze that helps just a little bit. We got that heat index already up there at 84. and temperatures across the region are continuing to warm up. 80 Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, 81 in Pittsburgh, 78 Chanute, Parsons, 80 Chitopa, and up to 81 in Miami, Veneta, and Grove. As we go through our morning, we'll be mostly clear, a few passing clouds, low 90s, and of course, as the temperature rises, that heat index will fly right up there as well. Highs today right around 104 degrees. Some of us could be a bit hotter than that, so make sure you're playing it safe out there. Partly cloudy skies and no relief from the heat through the evening. As we stay hot, we're still near 90 by 10. Heat index values will still be up there in the mid to upper 90s, even at 10 o'clock at night. And our overnights, not much relief there either. We're going to be down to 80 under partly cloudy skies. We've got our alert day today and tomorrow for that heat, up to around 100 tomorrow, maybe 100 on Saturday. And then we've got evening thunderstorms. A couple of those could be strong. We'll keep an eye on that for you, but they will help with temperatures as they clear out by Sunday morning. We're going to go low 90s heading into next week. We've got some pop-up storm chances on the 4th of July, but the good news is those are pop-up storms. They shouldn't ruin your plans, but if you have afternoon plans, just make sure you're not putting the fireworks out early and make sure you're prepared to, find a shelter from a rain shower or maybe a brief thunderstorm Tuesday afternoon. And it's still hot, a little better, but still hot. Temperatures into the low 90s. That is a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Tanya Bach with a check of Consumer Watch.
Now set sail in style. The world's biggest cruise ship is set to debut in early 2024. Royal Caribbean International's Icon of the Seas is making a big splash. It was built in Finland and recently began open sea test, weighing in at around 250,000 tons. Icon of the Seas boasts the largest cruise ship water park, over 40 ways to dine, 7 pools, 20 decks, and more amenities. The family-friendly boat is Royal Caribbean International's first ship powered by clean energy. That is huge. Well, as the summer travel season kicks into high gear, industry experts are warning travelers to keep an eye out for bed bugs. So how do you spot and prevent bed bugs and keep them from coming home with you? Patrick Cornell has 5 tips.
Keep unwanted guests from ruining your summer vacay. As a potentially record number of Americans travel this summer, one expert warns that a very unwelcome pest is multiplying this season.
We're definitely seeing bed bugs spread again. Most experts will tell you they expect numbers to get back to where they were pre-COVID eventually.
Bed bugs are not known to spread infectious diseases to humans, but the bites can cause severe skin reactions that itch. Entomologist Jeffrey White, and owner of White Mantis Consultants, has these tips to spot a major infestation. 1. Inspect the room. Check mattress seams, headboard, and the box spring for tiny brownish red stains or live bugs.
No matter how, expensive a hotel may be, you can potentially encounter bed bugs. We've seen bed bugs in 5-star hotels that can cost more than $1,000 a night type stuff.
2. Keep your luggage elevated. Put it on a desk or bathroom counter to minimize the chances of bugs crawling into your belongings.
Anytime you can keep any personal belongings away from the bed, that's always a good step.
3. Use plastic bags to store your dirty clothes and avoid bugs from hitching a ride home. 4. Once you get home, isolate your luggage and inspect it. And 5. Wash clothes in hot water and dry them on high heat.
It's all about what you do when you return home.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
On the next Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
And they're off. Off their feet, that is.
Contestants face planted in the dirt track at the first so-called grandparents race at Emerald Downs, a track known for a variety of unusual races. Jeannie Moose reports.
Off and running.
If you think thoroughbreds are all that run at Emerald Downs Racetrack in Washington State, hold your horses.
And they're off in the Grandparents Derby. Oh, we had a spill, another spill.
2 spills in a 40-yard dash? Ain't that grand. Parents, about 25 of them competed. The winner was Steve Butler, who said he hadn't been in a race in 50 years since he played high school football. The Grandparents' Derby joins other wacky races.
And babies away.
Ranging from the Diaper Derby.
Corgis away.
To the Corgi Derby that Emerald Downs is known for.
Wieners away. Slinky off nicely. Slinky romps to victory.
There are no real prizes except for trophies, and an empty trophy can leave a winning wiener looking for a treat.
Slinky says, "What's up with giving me an empty bowl?"
Are you guys looking forward to the finals?
We're looking forward to a lot of beer afterwards.
But Emerald Downs' most popular oddball race,
and they're off,
is the T-Rex Derby. As many as 150 competitors have dressed up in inflatable T-Rex costumes.
Dino Sexy Rexy, Dino Sexy Rexy!
Even while displaying some fancy footwork, most of the dinosaurs managed to stay on their feet, but the grandparents, not so much. The two guys who face planted exploded out of the gate, then imploded on the track. No one was hurt. No one went extinct. Ginny Mose, CNN, New York.
Those are certainly some interesting races.
Did the announcer say Sexy Rexy beat Sexy Rexy?
I'm not sure, but I did hear a Sexy Rexy in there. That was insane.
That was the name of all of them.
Probably. More than likely, that was the name for all of them. So, interesting races for sure. And you do not want to do any racing today, tomorrow, or even Saturday. We got alert days today and tomorrow. We have heat advisories, parts of southeast Kansas through 9 tonight, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and then southwest Missouri until 7 tomorrow evening, and excessive heat warnings in northeast Oklahoma through 9 tonight for heat index values that could be pushing 115 degrees, which makes heat exhaustion likely and heat stroke possible. So you need to be taking it careful out there. Make sure you're staying hydrated, and if at all possible, just don't go outdoors. We're already at 81 in Joplin, partly cloudy skies, 84, southwest breeze at 16, gusting to 24, and that helps about this much. Around the area, temperatures heating up, 80 Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, 81 in Pittsburgh, 81 Miami, 80 Chitopa, and 78 in Neodesha, Chanute, and Parsons. As we get our morning started, we'll have a few clouds out there, otherwise mostly clear, hot, heading into the low 90s by late morning. We'll have another check of your forecast, the week ahead, and the news you need to know right after this.
A four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Jury finds a Newton County, Missouri man guilty of 3 counts of child sex crimes. The jury took less than 2 hours on Wednesday to find 31-year-old Jonathan Lee Caviet guilty of first-degree statutory rape and 2 counts of statutory sodomy. The key witness in the trial was the 8-year-old child victim, who was only 4 years old at the time. The sentencing hearing for Caviet will take place August 28th. An Aurora, Missouri woman charged in a crash that killed 4 people on motorcycles will stay in jail, at least for now. A judge has ruled 53-year-old Teresa Manetsky will remain jailed without bond. The judge denied her attorney's request that Manetsky be released on her own recognizance while she seeks continuing medical care. A Webb City Educational Center on Wednesday honored local educators. The Southwest Center for Educational Excellence hosted its Regional Teacher of the Year celebration. 17 teachers were nominated, 2 were chosen as winners, and those winners are Amanda Royster from Carl Junction and Nikki Deaton from Sarcoxie. They will go on to represent the Southwest Missouri region in the statewide competition for Missouri Teacher of the Year. Pittsburgh's Knights of Columbus honors area organizations it's helping. It's part of its grant announcement celebration. The event looks to honor the recipients of the annual grants given by the Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas. And grants were given to 9 organizations.
We've got alert days today and tomorrow for that dangerous heat advisories, excessive heat warnings. Heat index values upwards of 110, 115. Highs today near 104, partly cloudy. No relief from the heat to this evening. Staying hot, down to 80 for our overnight low. We're hot again tomorrow, near 100 Saturday. And then evening thunderstorms come in, cool us back down to low 90s, and maybe a couple of pop-up storms for the 4th of July.
Well, Thursday is the perfect time to have waffles for breakfast or any other meal.
That's because June 29th is National Waffle Iron Day. Without this handy kitchen tool, you'd be eating plain old pancakes instead of waffles. And it's believed the first waffle iron appeared in Europe in the 14th century.
Well, centuries later, the first U.S. patent for a waffle iron was filed in 1869. Waffles went electric when the first plug-in waffle iron was developed by GE back in 1911. Whether you enjoy yours with syrup, whipped cream, berries, or fried chicken, take time to celebrate Thursday.
It's always a good time for waffles, and you can put sugar on there you put sugar into the little holes on the waffle, and then you put syrup, and it's really good. I'm telling you, it's very sugary.
Do you have one of those that you can flip over?
I don't have a waffle iron. I don't think. We might. I don't know. I've never used it.
I love making waffles. Haven't done it in a while. Maybe today's the day.
Could be the day. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.